Hi, and welcome to a very quick introduction to Switchgammon, aimed mainly for players who have either not played it before or are completely new to the game and wish to learn more. Switchgammon is a unique twist on the regular game of backgammon. I'm going to use XG to show some very simple opening moves with possible switches involved. If you want to see a more realistic use of Switchgammon, then go to Backgammon Hub, where you can play in the ladder. And also, if it's not already running, there will be a 7 point triple elimination tournament available on Backgammon Hub as well. The link for both the ladder and the tournament is in the description. So please go ahead and head to Backgammon Hub and give it a try. Okay, I'm going to go on to the XG and I'm going to put some moves in and just try and explain what the advantages are of Switchgammon if you use what's called a switch and what the possible downside is. So I'm going to put in a move for yellow. I'm going to put yellow as an opening move of 6-4. So I'm going to put in 6-4 and there's three ways that you can play 6-4. That part I'm not worried about. What yellow has decided to do in this example is to run the back checker all the way. So they're running from 24 to 14. Um, Now it's up to red, and I'm going to give red a roll, fairly innocuous roll of 5-1. So red gets 5-1. It's not the best roll. Red could decide to hit on the 1 point. They could split their back checkers and come down to the 8 point again. I'm not here to explain the correct play. What I'm here to show is what's called a switch, which is a unique feature that's available in this game. So red decides to switch. What that means is red decides that 5-1 isn't a particularly good roll and doesn't want to use that roll this go. So they wish to switch. So there is a button on the Backgammon Hub version that allows you to click switch. And what it will do is it will replace your 5-1 and put that roll on the bar. It will put the dice on the bar to show that that will be your following roll. And then it will give you your next roll. And let's say it is a 2-1. So it's a little bit better. You can now hit yellow. You can split your back checkers. You could play 24 to 21. Again, I'm not going to go the correct play, although most people will realize that hitting the yellow checker on the 11 point would be the key way to play the two. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit with the two. And I think typically in a regular game, you would look at splitting your back checkers to get them moving. However, with Switchgammon, you've got to remember it's almost like a two or three moves ahead. You know that your next roll is 5-1. Your opponent also knows that your next roll is 5-1 because you've switched it. If you go 11 to 10, which is here, if I can move it, then 5-1 becomes a very good roll now, as you can see, because 5-1 on your next roll will allow you to make the 5 point. So you're actually looking ahead sometimes with not only the move that you've just switched, but how useful it will play afterwards. The same applies to your opponent. Your opponent knows you're going to play 5-1 next. So let's give the opponent a 3-6 from the bar. So obviously they've got to come in with the 3. Um, and there's a few ways to play the 6. They could come out to the bar point or they could come out to the 16 point. Typically, if you come out to the 16 point, it gives a lot of shots. However, if you do that this go, then you know that if red wants to hit you, then it's at a cost of making the 5 point. So there's all these little intricate decisions that happen in Switchgammon. And the game will continue and with as many switches as you like within the game. So if red didn't really like the 3-6, they could have switched away from the 3-6 and played their next move, whatever that was, and knowing that they would be playing 6-3 after that. So again, just to clarify that, if Red wanted to take that move back, they could go ahead and switch it for something else and play that accordingly. They're obviously not going to go to the 20 point now because they know that Red's going to make the 5 point. Red will now be forced to play the 5-1, and yellow will be forced to play the 6-3. Red could have actually been even a little bit more devious because uh, if they wanted to, not suggesting you would, but you could do something like that. Sorry, I'll get it right. You could do, let's take that back, something like that. I'm not suggesting you should do, but you know that those two checkers are safe because you know that yellow is going to be rolling 6-3 next go. So there's quite a lot of, as I say, integral parts to this game. It's a fun game. Um, Use the switch wisely. That's my advice because although it's a big advantage to you, it's also a big advantage for the player or your opponent to know what your upcoming role is. Um, for example, a lot of players will switch when they fan on a 3 point board, for example. That's fine, but if you switch and you fan again, then your opponent is free to slot as many of those open points as they wish, knowing that you're not going to come in next roll. So it effectively changes the cube action. It also changes the number of shots you can leave comfortably because typically your opponent will only get one go at hitting you. Now they're going to get two goes if they use a switch. There's a lot of factors to build in. I don't know a lot of them, but I know it's a lot of fun playing. There are a lot of good players, strong backgammon players who enjoy this version of backgammon, and hopefully you will see them on the Backgammon Hub ladder or tournament. Um, that's about it. One of the final thing to say is that once there's no more contact between checkers, the switching option then stops for both players. Enjoy it. Look at the link below. If you wish to send me any questions, please do so on this thread, and I'll be happy to answer them. And enjoy Switchgammon. Thank you.